This is the Investor Connect podcast program. I'm Hall T. Martin. I'm the host of this show in which we interview angel investors, venture capital, family offices, private equity, and many other investors for early stage and growth companies. I hope you enjoy this episode. Need help in finding investors for your startup, fund, or angel group? 10 Capital provides funding as a service helping you find accredited investors. Contact 10 Capital to gain access to investors for angel and venture capital funds, family office rounds, and syndication raises. To learn more, go to 10capital.group. Well, hello, this is Hall Martin with Investor Connect. Today we're here with Julio Moreno, partner and co-founder of Santa Cruz Angels. Santa Cruz Angels invest in early-stage startups from across Latin America in areas of fintech, logistics, AI, and more. As of now, Santa Cruz Angels is close to 40 angel investors as members who pay a monthly membership. Julio, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Hall. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great. So tell us about your background. What were you doing before you started investing in early-stage companies?
Entrepreneurship. After I got my engineering degree from Georgia Tech in 2013, I came back to Bolivia, which is my home country, and founded a food delivery service app called Net Comidas. It became the leading platform in the country after 3 years. This company was bootstrapped all the way. And in 2018, it was acquired by Delivery Hero, which is the leading global local delivery service platform based in Frankfurt, Germany. And I've been serving as a director for Pedidos Ya Bolivia, DH Latam's subsidiary, for the past 3 years, and we've reached amazing growth and penetration. From my experience as an entrepreneur, having to go deep in our pockets to fund a company, I co-founded SSA Angeles in 2019, which is the first angel investment group in Bolivia to cover the investment gap for startups and provide new alternative investments for executives and business owners.
Great. So what excites you right now?
I would say hitting our first exit. Our current stage as an angel investment group is building confidence and learning the ropes, taking small steps at a time in the VC world, having in mind that most of our investors are used to controlled risk investments, you may call it, and with well-defined time frames for ROI. So having investors have skin in the game, taking that first leap towards putting a few chips and deals we bring to the table, has an incremental effect in our network and ecosystem. Having an exit in one of our portfolio companies will start to solidify our purpose and build confidence among investors to get into more deals in the future.
Well, great. Well, you see a lot of startups and a lot of investors in your area. What's your advice for people investing in startups? What do you tell them to do before they invest?
Basically, do your own due diligence. Educate yourself to form your own criteria and decision-making process. There's a ton of great tools online, such as a YC Startup Investor Program, which is available on YouTube. It is fundamental as well for investors to understand who and what they are investing in, understand key components such as valuation, financial metrics, main KPIs. And additionally, I recently read a book from Peter Thiel, 0 to 1, which gave me like a very strategic view from catching companies, no? And it's having an eye for those companies that are 10x better in terms of efficiencies and scalability than current solutions. This trait will inevitably make these companies become monopolies. These companies are the ones that really make the difference in your portfolio.
Great. And then on the other side of that table, what's your advice for people running startups? What do you tell them to do before they go out to raise that capital?
Myself, being an entrepreneur, I will advise being resilient as a fundamental element to have. Also being flexible at all times, having the ability to pivot swiftly all the way from macro and micro elements in your business plan. For example, in Net Comidas, at first we charge a fixed amount to our partners, no matter how many orders we provide to them a month. It took us 2 months to understand that this was not aligned to a sustainable growth trajectory or business proposition. We changed it to a commission rate based on monthly sales in our platform. And similar case happened with writers with their time investment and compensation. Finally, invest in understanding your users and having constant feedback loops on how to improve your solution or product. This process will indicate where to invest resources and also if you're on the right track on product to market fit.
Well, great. So let's talk about the state of investing where you are. How do you see the industry evolving from here?
I think that the pandemic has been a huge catalyzing factor for the digitalization of industries. And LATAM specifically has become a massive focus in VC right now, since it has ideal digitally penetrated demographics for new business opportunities and technologies to arise. It is also seen in numbers. So far in 2021, there has been more influx on VC investing in LATAM than 2019 and 2020 combined.
Wow, that's quite a bit. So what do you think the biggest change you'll think we'll see in the coming 12 months?
So adding on from the last question, I think large funds and VCs have changed their mindset on LATAM and are now aggressively pouring money into the region, basically. And that is causing tectonic changes in the whole ecosystem.
Well, great. And so tell us about your angel group. What's your investment thesis? More particularly, what's your criteria for investing in the startup?
Reducing it to a few key elements, I would say startups who have having a great multidisciplinary team, having some traction, product to market fit, understanding total addressable market, having a clear monetization model, and having an exit strategy mapped out with possible courses, such as an IPO or identified companies who will acquire them and have a track record doing so.
Can you mention one or two startups that fit that thesis?
Yeah, we recently invested in Kushki. It's an online payments platform based in Ecuador. This investment was made through Magma Partners. I see them going public in the next years to come, such as the local did in Uruguay recently, or being acquired by Stripe or some other comparable company.
Great. So let's talk about the challenges in the space today for both startups and investors. What do you think is the main challenge startups in your area face in launching their business?
I think it's having the fuel or resiliency to keep going in a never-ending competitive landscape at first. And at the other end, having the project be seen and funded among all the vast array of startups looking for the same.
Great. And then what's the challenge investors face in today's market?
I would say investors not doing their homework in terms of doing their own due diligence and learning their own mechanisms of decision-making and investments. I see too often investors go with a trend or are too emotionally attached to an opportunity or entrepreneur. In addition, thinking long-term is hard for investors, and this is a long-term game.
Great. Well, you see a lot of different applications and sectors out there in today's market. If you had to pick one or two that you think are really good opportunities for investors to pursue today, what would you put at the top of the list?
I think fintech is a clear winner due to its transformative implication in society and economy and massive breadth it has overall. I think we are currently at the cusp of an inflection point in this industry. Just seeing how different countries are gradually becoming more accepting from a regulatory perspective and welcoming new technologies to provide financial services that ultimately benefit the consumer in the value chain.
Great. Well, in the last few minutes that we have here, what else should we cover that we haven't?
I'd like to highlight the importance of sharing deal flow and insights among angel investment groups, funds, and accelerators. This is essential for strengthening the whole ecosystem, starting from the startups to gain compounding reach and wavelength for investors to know about them, angel groups who have access to a wider range of investment opportunities across borders, and accelerators with more quality startups joining their programs.
Great. So how best for listeners to get back in touch with you?
LinkedIn is fine. You can find me as Julio Moreno. And email works as well at contact@ssangeles.com.
Great. We'll put those in the show notes. I want to thank you for joining us today and hope to have you back for a follow-up soon.
Thank you, Hal. Thanks for your time.
Investor Connect helps investors interested in startup funding. In this podcast series, experienced investors share their experience and advice. You can learn more at investorconnect.org. Hal T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hal and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.